Sure. नाभ्या आसीदन्तरिक्षं शीर्ष्णौ द्यौ समवर्तत पद्भ्यां भूमिर्दिशश्रोत्रात् तथा लोकागुम् अकल्पयन् नाभ्या आसीदन्तरिक्षं
शीर्ष्णो
शीर्ष्णोद्यौ समवर्तत पद्भ्यां भूमिर्दिशश्रोत्रात् तथा लोकागुम् अकल्पयन्.
Super. There is a beauty when you end it with akalpayan. So there's a nice sound to it. See, that is why the Vedic chants are in many ways they are pleasing to listen in themselves. We don't need a particular raga or a particular we don't have to superimpose a raga to it. We never do, right? I mean, all these other Sanskrit shlokas and verses, you will always find there is some raga or it is there are people who sing it differently. Vedic chants, you never do that. Vedic chants have a certain tonal quality to it, a certain modulation that is already built in, right? So once you get the hang of that, it sounds very nice to listen to it. So last time we saw this Purusha was Chandrama manaso jatah chaksho suryo ajayata mukhadindraschagnischa pranad vayurajayata. So we saw how the different things are coming out of the Brahman or the Purusha. And then we understood that it is not actually coming out of the Brahman. We are superimposing that concept of what this Purusha is over myself. So that I know all of these principles are there within me. So in the previous one, Chandrama manaso jatah chaksho suryo ajayata mukhadindraschagnischa pranad vayurajayata. So these are all around the face area. The eyes, the face, the mouth, the prana, vayu, and the manas. So this is all the experience of Purusha within us, or the experience of that cosmic consciousness, or whatever this consciousness that I am. The experience of that is only recognized in this area. Right? When you sit for meditation, when you sit down to do some form of dhyana, so the most important thing is to bring your body into a sukhasana. Sukhasana has two meanings. Sukhasana as the asana that you're sitting on should be sukha, should be comfortable, but also the asana in which you are. The asana has two meanings, right? Asana is the seat that you're sitting in, and asana is also the posture. In yogasana, they teach you different postures, different asanas. These are different ways in which you keep your body. So when it is said you have to, before dhyana, you should be on a sukhasana, which means you should be on a comfortable seat, and your body should also be comfortable. Why? So that the consciousness rises up from the body, the awareness or the consciousness rises up above the body, and it kind of focuses and concentrates in this area, the head area. Why is that so? Because that is where you can perceive very subtle aspects of life or creation can be experienced in this part of our body. You can't experience in your hand or fingertips and legs and all that. You can, if we are very sensitive, we can experience that in any part of the body. But then for most of us, the subtle experiences can occur only when they are in the upper part of the body, which is the head area. Right? Perception also for us happens here. Notice all your pancha jnanendriyas are actually centered in the face or the head area, right? Shiras, your chakshuhu, your shrotra, your ghrana, your nose, your sense of touch, and your sense of taste. The pancha jnanendriyas are concentrated here. For some reason, as human beings, we've been created in a way that this part of ours is a dominant. It is a dominant part of the body, right? See, you can chop off a hand and still live. You can chop off a leg, you can still live. But you chop off someone's head, it's very hard for them to live for very long, right? So there is a lot of concentration of, or a lot of development has happened as we became human beings to move the consciousness to the upper part of the body, right? See, general consciousness is there in throughout our body. Suppose there is a um, suppose there is an ant. There's an ant that is crawling up my feet. I don't need somebody to come and tell me that there's an ant crawling up my feet. As long as I don't have numb feet or my feet is not gone, there are no malfunctioning of any of my nerve endings, I will sense, I will have the sensation, my consciousness will immediately recognize that there is something there. But it is within the contours of this body. My sensations are generally fixed to the contours of this body, this physical frame that is there. Now, when I go into slightly subtler perceptions, when I close my eyes, when I go into dhyana, this energy that rises, or this consciousness that becomes subtle, which is why naturally, if you notice, when you sit and you try to do dhyana, your head will go up like this, right? Even if it doesn't try to do that, you will see that when you bring your head up like this, your consciousness rises above the bodily frame, which means you become a little more sensitive to the subtler aspects of beingness, right? Your beingness is not, it's not only pulled down by the physicality of who you are, but which is what we call spiritual, right? When we say spiritual, it is non-physical. It is not just physical, it is above the physical, which is in the realm of the spirit, which is why we call it as spiritual. So when you raise your head a little bit like that and you bring your eyes here to the Agnya, naturally you will notice there's a subtling of the energies within you. There's a calming of the energies. There is slowly, as you go deeper into your meditation, the consciousness of this physical frame will slowly reduce, right? So the Purusha is, does it mean the Purusha only exists here? He's saying no, the Purusha is concentrated or experienced here. One can experience the Purusha or the Brahman in the Mukha area. Chandrama manaso jatah chaksho suryo ajayata. Mukhadindraschagnischa pranad vayurajayata. So the experience of Purusha, he says, from Purusha these things came out is the description. But what the Rishi is also trying to say is, think of that Purusha as you. Because that is why the Rishi is referring back to those things that you can relate to. Manas, where is Manas? We don't know Purusha has a Manas or not, you don't know, but you have a Manas. Eyes, does a Purusha have eyes? I don't know, where is it? Where does the Purusha have eyes? But you have eyes. So you relate it to yourself and see that how this Purusha is superimposed, and I experience the that subtle consciousness that is all pervasive. And we are saying that from this consciousness that I am, this whole creation is occurring. Vishwam darpana drishyamana nagari tulyam nijantargatam pashyannatmani maya bahirivod bhutam yatha nidraya Pashyannatmani Maya Bahirivodbhutam Yatha Nidraya. No, forget the last line. Tasmai Shri Guru Murtaye Namaidam Shri Dakshinamurtaye. So this is the first verse of Dakshinamurti Stotram. Vishwam Darpana Drishyam Ananagari Tulyam Nijantargatam Pashyannatmani Maya Bahirivodbhutam Yatha Nidraya. Anyways, somebody finds out that third line, let me know. But the verse goes on to say that what you experience on the outside is actually created from within you, or the experience of the world is happening inside me. It is not on the outside. The tree doesn't feel itself. I touch the tree and I feel the tree. So my sensation of feeling the tree or the seeing the tree or listening to the leaves is happening inside of me. So this Purusha, recognition of the Purusha within me is what the Rishi is driving at. Okay. And then he says, Anabhya asidantariksham shirshno dyav samavartata. See, now he is moving it from the inside to the outside. From within me, I am now, he's trying to move. Nabhya asid antariksham. The antariksham is the Purusha's Nabhi. Nabhi Kshetram. From the Nabhi Kshetram, or the center of the Purusha. Nabhi is recognized as the center. Nabhi means the Bindu, the center. Within our body, the Nabhi is the center. Each one, depending on what size we are, the Nabhi happens to be in the center of our frame, our form. Which is why even in temples, you'll notice the Dvajasthambam is kept, considered as the Nabhi of the temple. Dvajasthambam is considered as the Nabhi because that is, and in the Agnya is the sanctum, the Garbhagraha. The Garbhagraha is in the Agnya. Because when you come into the Agnya, there is no duality. Whether we see Krishna or Rama or whatever form there, that form is just cosmic divine form or divine energy that is existing there. Consecration that happens is of some divine energy. We give it a name, male, female, human, animal, all of that, we give those distinctions. But that is there in the Agnya, which means it is undifferentiated, non-dual. Agnya is known as the single eye. So in the Garbhagraha, what you perceive there, when we go into the temple, when we go and see the form in the Garbhagraha, we should immediately, we should be able to see the form from within us. We see the form within us, but here, not just this. See, when we go to the temple, what is it called? It's called Darshana, right? We say that go and do Bhagavan darshan kar lo, darshana machanam ke po. When we say, what do you mean is you see the deity. You see the deity means you use the two eyes to see the deity, but you essentially bring that consecrated form into your third eye, or which is your Agnya, where Agnya is essentially the space of non-duality. This complete dissolution of duality. These two eyes are dual. Right, wrong, left, right, up, down, day, night, good, bad. These two eyes are constantly reminding you of the duality of the world. But when you close your eyes and you bring your attention here, you focus here, here is the Agnya, where duality dissolves, is non-dual here. Now, when this happens and you bring that form here, at that time when you bring the form here, so the way it should be is, if you're looking at the form, look at the form and close your eyes and bring the form here. And this is how darshana should happen in the temple. You go look at the sanctum, you look at the form. It's not that you only look at the form or you go there and immediately close your eyes, Bhagavane, and all that, right? Don't immediately go and start prostrating and keep asking and keep wanting and all of that. Look at the form. Extremely important to look at the form. Otherwise, why are you going so far? Right? If you get to go to the Garbhagriha, a lot of times so much of crowd in so many temples that you don't get to go to the Garbhagriha. So you sit outside and experience the energy there. That is also beautiful. But if you get fortunate enough to get to the Garbhagriha, see the form. Like we went to Ayodhya, we saw Rama standing up like that. Small boy, but he's standing up tall like that, right? Ram Lalla. So you see the form and then you absorb the form, not here. Don't just bring it into your mind here. Bring it into the Agnya. Consciously bring the form into the Agnya, because the possibility of that form staying with you longer, or the effect of that form staying with you longer, is higher when you bring it into the Agnya. When you bring it just into your eyes, there's a possibility of it dissolving. And then you have to go to the internet to keep or look at your photos to check how it looks. Right? If you bring that form, maybe the form may also dissolve, but the impact that it will carry, whatever impact that particular form has to come into you, will come through the Agnya. As a Garbhagriha is recognized in the Agnya. And Nabhi is where the Dvajastambham is. So that is the center of the if you look at the temple structure as a human being lying down, so in the Nabhi you have the this thing. What is that? Dvajastambham. And then you have in the Agnya you have the Garbhagriha. And this whole the Agama Shastra talks about how much distance and all of that, right? But this is a human being, a temple structure that has been formed in the Agama Shastra. It defines how a temple should be created. Is symmetric to a human form. You go look up even now, temple and human body. Just go internet, you go and search according to the Dravidian structure of creating temples. All temples will have the structure where the head is, where the arms are, where the leg is, where the nabhi is, and so on and so forth. So it is very beautiful. It's been done considering that you as a body can experience a temple outside, but you can also experience the same temple inside. Okay? Nabhya asid antariksham. So the antariksham comes out of the nabhi, which means what? Whole creation happens from nabhi. Padmanabha Swami. Padmanabha Swami is what? He is the representation of Nabhya Asid Antariksham. From the Nabhi of Padmanabha Swami comes Narayana. From Narayana comes the whole creation. Brahma comes on a lotus. The lotus stalk comes out of the Nabhi. On the lotus sits Brahma. From there, Brahma creates the whole creation. So Antariksha is essentially the container of this creation. What is Antariksha? Antariksha easily translated as space. You can say space. But one of the ways of looking at Antariksha is it's the container in which creation occurs. And that is also within us, our creative center. Within us, the Manipuraka Chakra, that is a creative center. It is known as the Agni Tattva. So which means the fire of imagination, the fire of thinking, the fire of this thing, all of that, it's an upward rising energy at the Manipuraka. We have the ability to transmute or change that into an energy, a subtle energy that rises above. So the creative energy that is there within us in the Nabhi is the source of all creation. From the Nabhi, it rises above. And then it finds expression through the Anahata, Vishuddhi, and your Agnya. It finds expression, but it rises from there. Because still there, below the Mooladhara and the Swadhisthana essentially is only sustenance. So as long as you're in the animal frame of your existence, where all you care about is sustenance, then the Mooladhara and your Swadhisthana is sufficient. Imagination is the power that is being offered to human beings as a creature. Imagination as a power doesn't exist so much in animals. It doesn't exist in animals. You have to train them. You can train them to do certain things repeatedly. But to imagine and to create, that power only has been developed in human beings. And so, which is why for us, it's most important that our energies are focused at Manipuraka and above. We need to ensure our Mooladhara is stable. Our Swadhisthana does not cause disturbances because it's a Jalatattva. It can keep shifting, it can keep disturbing you. So you make sure that is balanced and your Mooladhara is rooted, and then our focus should build up from Manipuraka, because that is the space from where we've been endowed with the ability to go above that. So Nabhya Asid Antariksham, from there the whole creation begins for us. Shirshnaudhyau Samavartata, from the head comes the whole heaven. So the Purusha's head, heavens are established. Padbhyam Bhumir Dishashrotraat, Padbhyam, from the feet, Bhumihi, earth comes out. And the directions, Disha, comes from the ears of the Purusha. Tatha Lokagum Akalpayan. In this way, all the lokas were created. All the lokas came out of the Purusha. All these lokas that you experience, as is Bhuhu, Bhuva, Swaha, Maha, Janaha, Tapaha, Satyam. Then Atala, Vitala, Sutala, Talatala, Rasatala, Patala. So all the lokas, 7 lokas below, those lokas and the 7 lokas above, all these realms were created from this Purusha. How? From his Nabhi came the whole container to space, or this Antariksham came from that, the universe came from that. Nabhya Asid Antariksham Shirshnaudhyau Samavartata, from the head the heavens were established, which means the upper worlds. That is Bhuva, Swa, Maha, Janaha, Tapa, so and so forth. That is all established from the head of the Purusha. Shirshnaudhyau Samavartata Padbhyam Bhumirdishashru. So from the Padbhya, from the feet came earth and the other lower lokas. The earth is called as a Mrityu Loka. It doesn't mean that it is lower in any sense, right? It is not lower in any sense. It is just that these are subtler realms, and in our experience, earth is the most grossest realm. From Bhuhu, Bhuvaha, Swa, Mahajanaha, these, as you go high, these lokas that you talk about are not, they're not higher in terms of one is better than the other. It is just that they're subtler realms. They're realms of much more subtler. They operate at a subtler level of energy and consciousness. Right? The lokas which are below the Bhuloka, they are all grosser worlds. Right? So from the feet, because feet is the most, how do you say, for us, earth in a way is, earth provides us the stability, Bhuloka gives us the stability, and it is also kind of the form that so essentially the earth holds you in place. So you can look at the earth as Mooladhara in that way. So the earth holds you in place for you to be able to experience the higher lokas. Right? So what is it in our body that holds us in place is the feet, the Padbhya. The feet, both the feet, Padbhyam Bhumir Dishash, Padbhyam Bhumihi. My legs hold me onto where I want to be. If I want to be in a certain place, which means it establishes me, like the Mooladhara. Dishashrotraat, all the directions are the ears of the Purusha. Ears mean it is essentially sound. So we have discussed this. Ears represent the Shabda Tattva, right? What this is Shrotra, as the ears represent the Shabda Tattva, which means it is the recipient of sound. And what spreads in all directions as a Tattva? Vayu is a Bhuta. But if you look at the Tattva, Shabda Tattva is the one that spreads all over. Right? And it spreads in all directions, sound. So the subsequent verse will also talk about this, where from this Purusha comes all names and forms. Namani Rupani Vichitya Dhiraha. The subsequent verse will talk about that. So sound is released in all directions. So when he says Disha Shrotra At, which means the ears become the directions, mean what? Sound is released in all directions. Sound means what? Vibration, movement. In all directions, there is movement. And that happens in a radial form. It radiates out. So this is the way the whole experience of the creation is occurring. Nabhya asid antariksham shishnotyau samavartata padbhyam bhumirdisha shrotraat tatha lokagum akalpayan. In this way, lokas were created. So for us, this is also something that we can sit and meditate upon. We can see how from within me, the antariksham or all forms of creativity rises from the nabhi, from within me. My head, all the upper lokas are created. From the feet, the lower lokas are created. And from my ears, the whole directions are created. Directions mean all forms of sound, all forms of movement is created from here. So the Rishi offers us a whole process of meditation from Chandrama Manaso Jatah, Chaksho Suryo Ajayata, Mukhadindraschagnischa, Pranad Vayurajayata, Nabhya Asid Antariksham, Shishno Dev Samavartata, Padbhyam Bhumir Dishashrotra At, Tatha Lokagam Akalpayan. So in this way, he brings the whole creation to say, from the Purusha, the creation has happened, which means you can see the Purusha in all of these things. You can see in the Chandrama, you can see the Purusha in the Prana, you can see the Purusha in the Chakshu, you can see the Purusha in the Shrotra, you can see the Purusha in yourself, in the Nabhi, in your feet. So you experience Purusha in all parts of your body. Bring your attention to those parts of the body, and you experience that creation is occurring, and creation occurs every day within you. Correct? When you go to sleep, you're dead to the world. And the world is also dead to you. Correct? There is pralaya that is happening every day. And this pralaya happens within. There is complete cessation of all kinds of activities, even mental activities. When you go into deep sleep, if you're dreaming, you're not in this world, right? You are dreaming means you're gone into some other plane of existence. Here you're done, you're dead. You don't exist here. And this world also doesn't exist for you. In your Swapna Sushupti, this world doesn't exist. And when you wake up, you're creating this whole world. Which is why we say when we wake up, we do this to our eyes, we do our Guru Paduka, whatever you do, your Guru Shloka, you think of Saraswati, you think of Lakshmi, Karagre, Vasate Lakshmi, and all of that. You do all that, and you wake up, open your eyes, you wake up with a smile, all of that, because now the world that is going to be now presented to you is something that you are creating from the moment you wake up. Now imagine if these two verses we memorize and we think, when I'm opening my eyes, Chandrama Manaso Jataha Chaksho Suryo Ajayata Mukhadindraschagnischa, Agni is coming out of my face, and my mouth, Mukhadindrasch, Indra, all the Indra, the functions, all the deities are coming out. Mukhadindraschagnischa Prana Vayurajayata, the Vayu that is coming is my prana. Nabhya Asid Antariksham, from the Nabhi is coming the whole creation. Shishno Dyav Samavartata, Dyav was created, the heavens and the upper lokas are created. Padbhyam Bhumi Dishashrotra, from my feet, Bhumata, Bhudevi, and all the other lokas are created. Dishashrotra, then from my ears, the whole universe of sound and movement is coming out of the ears. So we think like this, when you get up, when you chant like this and you get up, just imagine the world that you are creating. And this is the world that will respond to you in the most appropriate way. And then you will not see that the world is unfair. The people are not listening to me. People are not good with me. People are not people. This is what we constantly keep saying, right? This person, that person, people. I don't know why people are like this to me. I don't know why. Because you are not creating your own world in the right way. That's nothing but a reflection. Just think about, what do the people or what does the world care about you? It doesn't care a thing about you, right? What joy does the world find in doing something harmful or something disturbing to you? Nothing. They are just being themselves. We find it disturbing. We find it harm. We find it annoying. We find it. Why does that happen? Because it is a world that I've created. This is a phenomenal recognition one needs to get to. And then we will know how the masters and be it men, women, children, there have been great masters across all genders and ages, right? We had a Prahlada Swami who was like a 5-year-old boy who was able to chant Narayana, Narayana. We have ladies, women, young ladies, old women. We had Avvaiyar who at 16 wanted to become a 60-year-old lady, all because she wanted to just think about Bhagavan. We have Mirabai. We have so many saints, Ramana, and just so many of them. When you think about how are they able to be so joyful and happy, this is how. Nanyaf pantha ayanaya vidyate. The next verse is going to say, there is no other way, my dear. How much ever ni anna kutti karnam potalum, they say, right? How much ever somersaults and trick, you jump up and down, whatever you do in this world, if you don't understand this truth, there is no escape for you. You cannot expect something else to happen to you. Right? So the next verse goes on. Yes, Mama. Yeah, sure.
நான் ஒரு இதில் படித்தேன், இந்த அக்ஷர புருஷான்னு படித்தேன். அதில் எக்ஸ்பிளைன் பண்ணது வந்து புரியல அது. ஸோ இஸ் இட் த சேம் Purusha?
I don't know what context it is mentioned, but Kshara Purusha is the Jiva. Akshara Purusha is the Brahman. One way of looking at it is Kshara means that which can be destroyed, can decay and destroy. And Akshara is that which can never be. Akshara Brahma. Bhagavad Gita has a chapter on Akshara Brahma, right?
Okay.
Akshara means that which cannot be destroyed. Kshara means that which can
destroy. Okay. Not permanent.
Not permanent. That's temporary. With time, it can dissolve. Right?
Okay. Thank you, Guruji.
So what we are, again, there are different schools of thought. Which says this Jivatma is also permanent, right? In one school of thought, the Jivatma is not permanent. It is an amsha of, or apparently it is a Jivatma, but is actually only Paramatma. So the apparentness is what is temporary. The apparentness of the existence of something which is mithya is temporary, and that is why it becomes kshara. In reality, it does not exist. What exists is only the Akshara Brahma or the Akshara Purusha. It is the only thing that, even in fact, the BAPS movement, they call this the Narayana, what is that called? Swaminarayan movement. They are called as Akshara Purushottama. BAPS, AP stands for Akshara Purushottama. In that Akshara Purushottama, Akshara is Brahman, Purushottama is the Guru. This is the way they are constructed. So from Akshara, this Purushottama comes and delivers you. So this pair, you will see this pair in the Swaminarayan temples always. They use Vishishtadvaita as their basis. Ramanuja's Vishishtadvaita is used as the basis for the Swaminarayan group's philosophy. They use the same. So Akshara Purushottama. So in this context, it would be that Purusha is that Purusha, but that Purusha is not only in the Brahmanda. It's not only the cosmic consciousness. There is a individual consciousness also. There is a Purusha in the ant also. Right? Pipali Khan, what is that? The Manisha Panchakam says. Pipali, I have to mention this one. Wait, it's a very beautiful. Pipali Kanta Tanushu Prota Jagat Sakshini Ya Brahma Adi Pipali Kanta. Pipalika means ant. So from the Brahma Adi, Pipalika Anta, with the from Brahman to the Pipali means an ant. Anta, Tanushu, Prota, Jagat Sakshini. You are in all these bodies as the Purusha. You are in all these from the Brahma Adi, Pipalika Anta. So from what is known as the cosmic consciousness to the ant's consciousness, ant, because we are considering it as the smallest creature that's possibly visible to our naked eyes. Anta, Tanushu, Prota, Jagat Sakshini. You are existing as that Jagat Sakshini in all of these Tanushu, all these bodies. So the Brahman can be seen as Akshara Purusha, but these can be called as Kshara Purusha. The Purusha is existing there, but it's Kshara because it's not, that body keeps changing, it keeps moving, it's temporary. That Purusha keeps moving from body to body. Right? So we were at the form, and then saying Vedaha Metam Purusham Mahantam Aditya Varnam Tamasastu Pare. Okay. So he goes on to say Vedahametam Purusham Mahantam Aditya Varnam Tamasastu Pare Sarvani Rupani Vichitya Dhiraha Namani Krutva Bhivadan Yadaste Dhata Purastadyamuda Jahara Shakraf Pravidvan Pradishaschatasraha Tamevam Vidvan Amrita Iha Bhavati Nanyaf Pantha Ayanaya Vidyate. Okay, this is very, very beautiful, and it's so with absolute certainty the Veda. If you hold the Vedic scriptures as authority of truth, then the Vedas are saying Nanyaf Pantha Ayanaya Vidyate. There is no other way to attain to this truth. No other way. Right? What is this way? We just spoke. I think we're running out of time. We will pick up 16, 17 next week. But what is this truth that we're talking about? This truth is recognizing the Purusha that is within me. Is the Purusha, and to recognize that Purusha. By the way, because we're doing Purusha Suktam, we are calling it Purusha. If you're doing Shri Suktam, we will call it Stri. You will give it a feminine gender. But please remember, it is not gender. Purusha is, we looked at the meaning, that which has found Puru inside you, which means it has found, Pura means a place of residence. Tripura or Manipura means a place of residence. Pura means a place of residence. So that Shakti, that entity, that consciousness that has found space in you to reside, that is Purusha. So what it says is this: I constantly bring my attention to this Purusha in whatever form, and I say, this world that I am creating is mine alone. I create this world. Of course, then, I mean, mind also thinks in a way, also, which means the war that is happening, the bomb that Hezbollah is throwing, is it the world that I created? We are not talking about that. The world that is impacting you is the world that you create. Remember this. See, if you're wanting to question such things, and then what will happen is, then you will lose the opportunity to use this as a tool for self-development. Right? Our mind can go into some stupid fascinations of this kind. Oh, does it mean that I am creating all of this? People who are fighting and struggling, and am I the one creating? No, what we're saying is the world of your world, the world that is you, which is why I said, when you go off to sleep, even if there's Hezbollah throwing missiles, you don't know, right? You are sleeping off nicely in your air conditioning bedroom on your couch, double bed couch. How does it care? Doesn't. Only when your eyes are open, you look at the newspaper, you look at the channel news, you know. So we are talking about our world. Understand, Adhyatma Marga is about my spiritual experience, my understanding of the world, my understanding of myself. So when we speak about these things, we are not talking about the elemental world. We are not talking about the physical world that is operating outside. We are talking about the world that is impacting me. And this is important to know. This world is what I am creating. I create this world continuously. And the rishis are giving us ways in which we can create this world in the way we want to. Aditya Hridayam also we saw, when we wake up in the morning, how we invoke the Surya Bhagavan. So in the same way, here also he is pointing out that you think that Purusha is emanating from here. When you're waking up in the morning, this consciousness that is the world out there, instead of jumping out of the bed, if you can spend a moment and think that this world that is creating is out there, that I'm going to experience now, is a world that I am creating. It's a world that I have the ability to create and make it mine. When we do that, when that sankalpa comes within us and we wake up with that sankalpa, you will notice that as you go through the day, the things that we have against the world will slowly reduce. You'll not think that the world is out there to get me. It's unfair doing this to me. I am not getting this thing, that thing, that thing. No, the world creation happens from here. Of course, it's not that, okay, today, tonight we go and sleep, tomorrow morning we try this and we say, no, Guruji, it didn't happen. No, it's not like that. It is something that we practice with Shraddha. That is why Shraddha is very important in these things, which means you know that it's been tried. The Vedas are saying, Nanyaf Pantha Ayanaya Vidyate. The Vedas are saying that it has been tried, tested. Now you can keep experimenting. Great, good for you. But if you want to see results, take this, focus on this, and do this for a period of time. It doesn't have to be 50 years, right? Even if you try this for a mandala, we take the mandala as 21 days or 42 days. We try this as a regular thing on a daily basis. We will notice the world that gets created. One, we will find it not so overbearing. Two, it will not, that impact that it has will be far reduced. You will see people around you are struggling to live, but you will not struggle to live. A lot of people find living itself as a struggle, right? You will not be the one, you will not find your life to be a struggle, although you will face the same environmental conditions, but that struggle will not be there. Why? Because you are making a sankalpa, I am creating this world. And then the world will respond to you in that way. And that's a beautiful exchange that we will see as we experience this as a sadhana. Right? So he says, Chandrama manaso jatah chaksho suryo ajayata mukhadindraschagnischa pranad vayurajayata nabhya asid antariksham shishno dyav samavartada padbhyam bhumi dishashrotra at tatha lokagum akalpayan. This is how my whole world is created. Right? So with this, we'll pause at this verse 15. We'll pick up the next two verses next time. Very, very, very beautiful verses these are. Om Kayena Vacha Manasendriyerva Buddhyatmana va Prakrite Svabhavat Karomi Yatyat Sakalam Parasmai Narayanayeti Samarpayami Sadashivayeti Samarpayami Jagadambikayeti Samarpayami Satgurunathayeti Samarpayami Hari Om Tat Sat Gurubhyo Namaha. Gurudeva. Hari Om.
Hari Om.